Well, I was hoping for a better performance compared to what I did in week two. God, that was horrendous. And thankfully, I came through at least a little bit. I was 9-7 picking the winners, 11-5 against the spread. I don't know how the hell that happens. I'm sorry. It should be in theory, right? Easier to pick the straight up winners than picking the spread, because with the spread it's always complicated because you've got shit teams hit a field goal late, score a backdoor touchdown, some type of bullshit, right? They take a knee when they could have went, and it just makes it harder. But to go 11-5 against the spread, I'm really happy about that. 9-7 picking the winner straight up, I don't know so much about that. So season to date, I'm 27-21 picking the winners straight up, and then in even 500 record, 24-24 against the spread. So if you bet on anything that I said, you're probably maybe broken even, maybe won a little money, or maybe lost a little money. So hopefully I can help you. I still don't know how much I would be leaning on my advice at the moment, but hey, what the fuck, why not? So let's talk about week four picks. Thursday night you had the Cowboys against the Giants, and the way I was thinking about this game was the Cowboys would win, but the Giants probably backdoor cover or something, or it's going to be a close game because of the short turnaround time, and it was, right? And it wasn't looking so good in terms of the spread pick, especially with the Cowboys late, and dude misses a field goal, and you're like, well, fuck. If you bet Dallas minus the 5.5, you're probably really pissed right about now. That's what makes it so challenging picking against the fucking spread. But Dallas wins, the Giants cover. So good day if you pick the Giants to cover like I did. Switching over to the Sunday matchups, you've got the Saints traveling to Atlanta to take on the Falcons. The Falcons sitting there at 1-2, but they've had some decent performances for sure. Meanwhile, the Saints started off like a house of fire the first 2 weeks and came down to earth a little bit against the Eagles last Sunday. Falcons are favored by 3 here, and I totally get it. I'm going to pick the Saints plus the 3 to win. You've got the Rams traveling to Chicago to take on the Bears. The Rams pretty depleted right now. The Bears 1-2 themselves, so no reason to talk any shit. There's nothing to talk shit about. They can't fucking run the ball. Their offensive line somehow got worse. Their coach can't count. Matt Eberflus, like, what the fuck? But either way, for some reason, I'm going to pick the Bears minus the 3 this week because I'm a psycho, I guess. You've got the Vikings traveling to Green Bay to take on the Packers, with the Packers 2.5-point favorites. You got to be careful with this one because Minnesota's playing some really good football, and they've been dominant, right? Like, they kicked the 49ers' ass. They kicked the freaking Texans' ass. They kicked the Giants' ass. Like, they've been rolling. So there's almost a piece of me that wants to pick Minnesota in this spot, but I'm going to stick with the Packers. They got the home field, so give me Green Bay minus the 2.5. If the Vikings, though, go into Lambeau and win on Sunday and they then go to 4-0, we got to start talking about them as a contender, believe it or not. From what appeared before the season as a lost season. That's just why they say, that's why you play the games. You got the Steelers at 3-0 traveling to Indianapolis to take on the Colts. The Steelers at 2-point favorites. They've been winning based off of the back of that defense that's allowed 10 points or fewer in all three of their matchups. And Justin Fields doing kind of the game manager thing, right? Anybody that says that Justin Fields is really developing or balling out, like, that's just fucking dumb. Is he playing solid football right now? He certainly is. But a guy that's averaging less than 200 yards passing a game and in 3 games has 2 touchdowns and interception, obviously he does some things with his feet running the ball, right? It's not one thing he could always do. But balling out is not exactly what you would call it. It's solid. It's solid enough for the Steelers to win right now. But, like, let's calm the horses on the overreactionary shit. Meanwhile, for the Colts, Anthony Richardson, he can hit some of the big plays down the field, and he certainly does, but he's got to get better. It's the same knock on him at Florida, right? He's basically a rookie quarterback in terms of game experience, so you have to expect some of these bumps this year, but even watching him Sunday against the Bears, like, put the ball at risk sometimes, failed to execute on some basic, like, 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7 situations. He's got to get better there. I do like him in this matchup, though. Again, I'm going to stick with Mike Tomlin and the tradition of his teams playing bad teams on the road and it not going well. Give me the Colts plus the 2. We've got the Broncos traveling to face the Jets. The Jets are big 7.5-point favorites here. I do like the Jets to win, but 7.5 feels pretty generous considering the Broncos just went to Tampa and kicked the shit out of the Bucks on Sunday. So give me Denver to cover the 7.5. You've got the Eagles traveling to Tampa Bay to take on the Buccaneers. The Eagles coming off of that nice win against the Saints, and then the Buccaneers off of that trap game loss to the Broncos last Sunday. I like the Eagles minus the 1 here. You've got the Bengals traveling to Carolina to take on the resurgent Panthers. They're pounding. They won one fucking game. Time to overreact. But the Bengals are in panic mode damn near at this point with their 0-3 start. And they've got to face the Red Rocket Andy Dalton. Is he going to have a revenge game here? It's possible, but I'm not believing it. I think the Bengals win. Give me Cincy minus the 4.5. And then you've got the Jags traveling to Houston to take on the Texans in a game the Jaguars just absolutely desperately have to get. They're 0-3. Like, it could head south really quickly for them. Meanwhile, the Texans need a rebound coming off of last week's loss to the Vikings, where they really didn't look good offensively or defensively. Give me Houston to win, and with it being a divisional matchup expected to stay close, give me the Jags to cover the 6-point spread. Shifting to the late Sunday afternoon action, you've got the Commanders traveling to Arizona to take on the Cardinals. Jane Daniels with his big primetime performance on Monday night. Short week, though, got to go on the road. Give me the Cardinals minus the 3.5. Maybe Kyler Murray and Marvin Harrison Jr. connect for some big plays in the passing game. You've got the Patriots traveling to San Francisco to take on the 49ers. I'll admit I didn't look to see whether or not Drake May is starting or not, but I don't know that it influences the decision. He's going to be in a bad spot. But he can't be really much worse than Jacoby Brissett at this point. Give me the 49ers to rebound minus the 10.5. You've got the Browns traveling to Vegas to take on the Raiders. Even though the Browns are slightly favored here, they're not favored by much. I'll take the Raiders to bounce back. Give me the Raiders plus the 1.5. You've got the Chiefs traveling to Los Angeles to take on the Chargers. The Chiefs with the big 7-point favorites here. I think Justin Herbert's questionable. He's going to play. Joey Bosa is not. The Chiefs are finding ways to win right now. They just enough offense, just enough defense, but they're not exactly setting the world on fire. And you're not watching them and sitting there saying, "Wow, look at the Chiefs. They look inevitable. They look unstoppable." And you got Andy Reid versus Jim Harbaugh. Harbaugh's first time taking on Mahomes and Reid as a coach of the Chargers. I'll pick the Chiefs to win here, just because in case Herbert's ankle is bothering him, like he'd be limited a little bit. But I do like the Chargers to cover the 7-point spread. And then you've got another big matchup in the AFC, 2 possible contenders. The Bills undefeated going to Baltimore to take on the 1-2 Ravens, who just got their first win of the season last Sunday over the Cowboys by pounding it out for over 270 yards on the ground. I'll take the Ravens minus the 2.5 here. You've got the Monday night matchups, another doubleheader, which, like, why do you have them compete against each other? Why not have like one start at 5:30 on the East Coast and the other one start at 8:30 or 9? Whatever. You got the Titans traveling to Miami to take on the Dolphins. And believe it or not, even though the Dolphins are favored by a point here, I'll take the Titans plus the 1. This feels like one that they could pick off here, especially with Tua still being out due to the concussion. And then you've got what should be a pretty good matchup. The Seahawks traveling to Detroit to take on the Lions. Don't look now, but Geno Smith and head coach Mike McDonald have the Seahawks at 3-0. Meanwhile, the Lions are rebounded a little bit last week against the Cardinals, getting to 2-1. I like Detroit to win here, but I do like Seattle to cover the 3.5-point spread. So those are my picks for week 4. I'm going to do better. Yeah, you probably will, and I don't give a fuck. Good luck to you.